A very warm welcome in the class of Mathematics 1. Today our topic is curvature. Myself Rupak Bhattacharjee, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, JIS College of Engineering. Today's topic is a very interesting one in the context of curves. It will actually give you various properties related to that specific curve. We should say, instead of this various properties, it is a very important one and it will describe the nature or the characteristic of that given curve, and from that information you will be able to identify or to compare the properties with other curves. So to understand this one, we need some basic prerequisites, and they are: first, what we understand about a curve and what are the variations of curves related to its differentiability, related to its smoothness, and etc. And then we also need the concept of tangent and the concept of normal for a given curve at a given point. All of us know that, but still we need this concept revisited to make this curvature part clear in our mind. And finally, when I am taking any class, I am trying to emphasize on this particular part, that what is the geometry, what is the physical interpretation, or what is the visualization of this particular thing what we are talking about. So let us start this class. Please look at the figure or the dynamic picture very closely. You have a curve in black color drawn over here, which is fixed, and there is another red thing which is always in circular shape, which is moving. The question is, on what basis it is moving? So if you see, or if you take a particular point, suppose here, you will see that this is a circle which is moving for this point, and look at this, now it is here and then it is crossing this particular point and it is going in this direction. So when now it is at this particular position and when it is coming at this particular position, look at this, how much small the circle is, and again it is big, and so on. So what is going on basically, that at a fixed point of this curve we are trying to draw a circle which is matching at this particular point of this curve's bending tendency. And obviously for each and every point, when the bending tendency of this curve is changed, the corresponding circle is also changed. So we are getting various types of circles, but all of them are circles, and for that the variation of the circle, and as it is moving, it is having a center. Every circle is having a center, and the center is also moving. Even if the circle is fixed but moving, then also the center will be moving, or if the circle is changed and moving, then also the center of that circle will be moving. So let us go for the next picture and see what is going on here. Here we are also doing the same thing, but for a certain particular range. That means we are thinking for this particular point to this particular point, we are actually starting one circle from this point, and then for this point, for this point, for this point, this point, and up to this point we are drawing the circle, not the whole curve of this blue fixed one. And this blue moving one, that means which is indigo blue colored circle, when it is going, look at this, when you are having a circle over here, its center is here. When your circle is over here, its center is here. In this way, these red dots are nothing but the locus of the center of this moving circle. So look at this, this stick is nothing but one endpoint of the circle, and another endpoint is the center of that circle. So how this is moving, look at this, and then it is going up to this. So this is the structure is generated by this center of this moving circle. If these two pictures and the story behind these two pictures are clear to you, you are almost done. Just some mere nomenclatures and just some calculations and some corollaries are remaining. You have actually covered the concept through these two stories along with these two pictures. But obviously you have to make our idea more strong, more clear, so we have to go proceed further. So what we see that intuitively the curvature, this is our topic today. The curvature is the amount by which the curve deviates from being a straight line or a surface deviates from being a plane. Means if you have a straight line over here, then there is no point which can be straight line because it is already in straight line. But if you are having a curve like this, and at this point if it is not a curve, if it is a straight line, then what is the amount of deviation required to being a straight line? So obviously it will be clear. If you have a curve like this and you are considering this point, this particular deviation from being a straight line and the particular deviation from being a straight line are different. So this curvature and this curvature obviously different. Now for curves, the canonical example is that of a circle. We are considering the circle which has a curvature equal to the reciprocal of its radius. Why? Because calculation will be done after some time, but think about this. Smaller circles, this is a very important line for our concept. Smaller circle bend more sharply and hence have higher curvature. Means if you have a circle like this and if you have a circle like this point being a straight line and this point being a straight line, obviously the bending tendency of this circle is higher than this circle. So if we think for the curvature, this radius is smaller, this radius is bigger. So if I reciprocate this bigger radius give you less curvature and the smaller radius give you higher curvature. So that is why it is given that smaller circles bend more sharply, and as we are having the curvature is equal to the reciprocal of the radius, this is the reason, physical reason. Now what we can see that the curvature at a point of a differentiable curve is the curvature of its osculating circles. So what is the osculating circle? We have to make it clear. And then that is the circle that best approximates the curve near this point. So already you have the idea of the osculating circles. Maybe you don't have the name at that time, but when we are seeing the last two pictures, we see that what is the case for osculating circle. And the curvature of the straight line is 0 because it is not at all a curve, so you can't claim that it is having this type of bending intuitiveness. So curvature will be equal to 0, and the curvature of a curve at a point is normally a scalar quantity. These are the properties, and that is it is expressed by a single real number because we are measuring at a point. So to introduce the definition of the curvature, now it is the formal definition. We consider a unit speed curve alpha s, where s is the arc length, and at this point if you draw the tangent, then the tangential angle is phi s. It is measured in the counterclockwise direction from the x-axis to the unit tangent t is equal to alpha dot s as shown below. Okay, so look at this. This is the angle created, and obviously this is the anti-clockwise direction, and it is the tangent at the point here. The curvature k, now we are defining it. The curvature k of alpha is the rate of change of the direction of the tangent line, because in the next point when you are going to draw a tangent, the tangent will be different. If you draw a tangent over here, then the tangent will be different. Obviously the angle will be different, and the angle is changed because of the change of this s. So what we are defining that d phi ds, that means the change of this angle with respect to s, is defined as the curvature K. We will make it more clear in the coming examples. So what we see, we are going to make the concept of osculating circle clear. The osculating circle is something like that, which is a sufficiently smooth plane curve we have to take. Then we have to fix a point P, and we have to draw a circle at this point in such a way it is passing through P, and the pair of additional points on the curve infinitesimally close to P means you are taking one point over here, you are taking one point over here, and they are very close to P. All of them has to be on that circle, and its center line on the inner normal line. It is a tangent and is the inner normal line, and its center lies on this inner normal line, and its curvature defines the curvature of the given curve at this point. So at this point, this is your osculating circle, and this is the center of the osculating circle, which is placed on the inner normal line. Clear? Okay. So proceeding further, what we see that the center and the radius of osculating circle, because when the curve is given or specified, after that the point is also specified. So what we get, we will get this particular osculating circle clear. So the center of that osculating circle and the radius of that osculating circle at that given point, because osculating circles are not fixed for a given curve, it varies on the structure of that curve. So center of that particular osculating circle at that given point is called the center of curvature, and the radius of that osculating circle at that given point is called radius of the curvature of that curve at that point. Clear? So now if we think about the picture, so if this is your osculating circle or imaginary circle completing the curve, so suppose this is your curve, suppose now that the curve may be like this, the curve from this particular point may be like this, we don't know. But when we are placing the circle over here, at this point the circle is placed and we have to complete the circle in this form, and after completing this circle, it is an imaginary circle because it is not really there, it is our osculating circle, it is the inner normal line, so this is the center. So this length is called radius of the curvature, and this point is called center of the curvature. Please try to understand, when the point will be here or when the point will be here, the type of circle will be different. Now this will be the circle, then this will be the center of that osculating circle. So center of the curvature at this point will be this, but it was just some time before it was here. So don't make any confusion in this concept. It's the beauty of mathematics that you can visualize this, and you can have some animations on this also, you can also generate. Now in the next part, what we see, we are considering a plane curve defined by the equation y equal to fx. Now we are making a tangent line drawn to the curve at a fixed point M, whose coordinate is x and y. The tangent forms an angle alpha with the horizontal axis f1. So if we see the diagram, the plane curve is this one, y is equal to fx, and at this point M, whose coordinate is x comma y, we are drawing a tangent. So this is a tangent. This tangent creates the angle alpha from the positive x-axis direction. So this is alpha. Now what is going on? This point is moving from M to M1, and at M1 you can draw another tangent. This will create another angle. This angle is denoted as alpha comma alpha plus del alpha, means the angle what is created over here, it is del alpha. So in this case the tangent is having greater angle, in some cases the tangent may have less angle, then that del alpha will be negative. That is not an issue. The issue is that the angle is changed. So if we take the same diagram and if we think about the next calculation for this problem, what is saying, what already I have mentioned, that at the displacement of del s, means from M to M1, the position of the tangent line also changes and the angle created for the positive x-axis is becoming alpha plus del alpha. Thus, at the point moves by the distance del s, if we think about this M1 to M2 distance del s, then the tangent also rotates by the angle del alpha. The angle alpha is supposed to be increasing when rotating counterclockwise. Now what we get, the absolute value of this ratio, that means del alpha del s, that means the change in alpha and the change in s, is called the mean curvature of the arc M1. But we need the curvature at a point, fixed point M. So what we are doing, if this del s is approaching to 0, then this M to M1, this curve will be approaching to M, this will approach to this M point. So if del s is tending to 0, then this alpha, delta alpha will also be very small for that particular point for this curve. If there is a sharp change, then there will be a big change also. So this ratio is taken into account and the limiting value is considered, and this result, this limit, if exists, then we call it the curvature of the curve at the point M. Clear? So from this definition we can follow that the curvature at a point of a curve characterizes the speed of rotation of the tangent of the curve at this point, because speed of rotation means how fast the tangent is rotating. That will be measured because we are taking the limiting value of the change of angle with respect to the change of the position of the point M on the curve fx. So for this plane curve given by the equation y is equal to fx, now we are entering into the calculation part. The curvature at a point mxy is expressed in the term of first and second derivative of the formula, this one. This formula is now our working rule or the thumb rule for practicing the problems of curvature. Okay. So if you understood the curvature thing, then getting the value for k is not a tough job. It will be y double dash x because yx is given, then y dash x whole square, then 1 will be added and then it will be powered by 3 by 2. So all these calculations can be done and we will show it in the examples. But before going into that, in some cases the curves may be represented in terms of its parametric form, like y is equal to a cos theta, x equal to a cos theta, y is equal to a sin theta. We know that it is the equation of the curve, but it is represented in terms of parametric form, that is x square plus y square is equal to a square. Okay. So the curve is defined in the parametric form by the equation x equal to xt and y equal to yt. If so, then we will use this particular formula for finding out the curvature of that curve at a given point, and this formula depends on x dash y dash x double dash y double dash, which means it is the differentiation with respect to t, and the radius of the curvature of a curve at a point mxy is called the inverse of the curvature. So if k can be calculated, then r will be 1 by k. So obviously r will be 1 by k, that means the reciprocal of k. So this will be the formula for the radius of curvature. Okay, so our first job is to find out the curvature of the ellipse, where ellipse is given as x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1. But where we have to find out the curvature of this ellipse? We have to find out this at its vertices. So look at the diagram first. So our job is to find out the curvature at the point A and at the point B. Now if you recall the second picture of today's class where the circle was moving, the circle was moving from this point to this point of an ellipse, and you see that the circle is changed at this point and at this point, and this picture gives you that at this point the curvature, that means the bending intuitiveness, and at this point the curvature, the bending intuitiveness are different, and it is sharper, it is not so. So let us check the calculation. So we have to do the calculation for the point A at A0 and the point B at 0B as in this figure. So due to the symmetry of the curve, the curvature at the two opposite vertices of the ellipse will be same. Means the curvature at this point and the curvature at this point will be same, and the curvature of this point and the curvature of this point will be same, because the curves are symmetrical, so obviously their nature will be symmetrical. So we have to calculate this curvature, and it is given in the parametric form, just the rule with what we have shared before this slide, that x is equal to a cos t and y is equal to b sin t. If you substitute here, you will get a square sin square t plus b square cos square a square cos square t plus b square sin square t. A square cancelled out, b square cancelled out, so sin square t plus cos square t, which is 1. So this is the correct parametric form of this ellipse. So what we have to do, we have to find out the parameter value as the value t equal to 0 at this point and t equal to pi by 2 at this point, because think about the angle. This is nothing but starting from 0 and then we are going to 90, that means pi by 2. So our formula was this, we know that. We will find out x dash, means x with differentiation of x with respect to t. So if we differentiate a cos t with respect to t, we will get a minus sin t. So minus will some sign will come first, minus a sin t. Similarly, x double dash means with respect to t to 2 times differentiation, so minus a cos t. Clear? Similarly, if we do for y dash, so it will be b sin t differentiation with respect to t, so it will be b cos t. And if I differentiate this one, it will be minus b sin t, basic differentiations. So y dash, y double dash, x dash, x double dash, all are calculated. It will be y, okay. So our job is to substitute these values over here and to just find out the value of k, okay. So this was the diagram. Now substituting those values, that means the derivatives, x dash, x double dash, y double dash in k, you do this calculation obviously in your own approach, because I am not elaborately discussing the calculation, because this is very simple. This is merely a calculation, and if I do it 1000 times in front of you, it will not be effective. You have to do 2 times by your own effort and it will be effective. Our job is to just make this simplification, that k is coming in this pattern. Observation is that k is coming with the parametric form with t, but we know that curvature at a fixed point is nothing but a scalar quantity. So ultimately curvature at a, when you are trying to find out, as we know that t is having the value 0 over here, so we will substitute t equal to 0 in this expression and we get the value is coming as a by b square. So this is the curvature over here, and the curvature at the point b, when we have to put t equal to pi by 2, we get it b by a square, okay. So a is greater than b. Clear? It is your additional observation because it is important. So a square will be greater than b square. So 1 by a square will be less than 1 by b square. And look at this, it is coming as b by a square. So if you just do some multiplication over here, that is b by a square is less than b by b square. okay, but A is greater than B. So if you put A is here, as it is greater, if you are putting A is here, it will be more greater. So you can write A is this one, this relationship also you can write, because A is greater than B, so you can write it. So what it gives, that at t equal to 0, this one, this curvature, and at t equal to pi by 2, that means this curvature, our concept tells us the curvature of this one is higher than the curvature of this one, because the geometry, the intuition, the concept, all are same, but the calculation is also in line with our concept, that look at this, a by b square is greater than b by a square, so a by b square is greater than b by a square. So curvature at t equal to 0 means curvature at a is greater than the curvature of t equal to pi by 2 at b. So how fine and nice thing is this. Now we are moving forward for next example, and this asks us the curvature and the radius of curvature of the parabola y equal to x square at origin. So what we see, y equal to x square is given, so y dash will be the differentiation of x square is 2x, and double differentiation is 2. But the difference between this problem and the previous problem is that the previous problem was in parametric form, it is not in parametric form, it is having y with relationship with x. We are not coming y with t and x with t. I don't know where I have drawn, okay, so okay. So this is the result of y dash and y double dash, and this is the formula for the curvature. So our job is simply to substitute the values of y double dash, the values of y dash in this, and we get after simplification this one. I am not doing the calculation over here because the calculation are shown and you can do it. The concept is again here, the k is in terms of x, because we are finding out the curvature at a single point. It is our final target, but here we have calculated the curvature in general. Our question is to find out it in the origin, so we have to substitute x equal to 0 over here, and if we put the x equal to 0 in this expression, we get the result is 2. So what is the curvature at origin? 2. So our first question is answered, the curvature of this parabola at origin. But there is another question, radius of curvature. But we know that the radius of curvature is nothing but the reciprocal of the curvature. Already we have established this thing in the previous slides. So once the curvature is calculated as 2, the radius of curvature of this particular parabola at origin will be 1 by 2. It is simply the application of this particular information, okay. So now what we see, that we have some assignments for you, and these assignments are very important. You have to follow two things first, whether, look at this, it is given in the relationship of y and x. If you have to find out the curvature and the radius of curvature, then you have to use the formula what we have just used in the previous slide. Similarly, if we have to find out the curvature and radius of curvature, the problem is basically on curvature, because if someone can be able to find out the curvature, just one line is required to find out the radius of curvature, the reciprocal of the curvature. It is also the direct relationship between y and x. But if you see the third problem, where a special type of curve is given, whose name is cycloid, and this is the expression of cycloid. Look at this. Here x is related with t, y is related with t. So you have to decide that to solve this assignment, this problem, you have to use the parametric form. If you are not thinking for this particular classification from the very beginning of the problem, then it is not possible for you to find out the curvature or find out the curvature smoothly. You have to have some hindrances, then you have to come back and you have to follow. But before that, before proceeding, before starting the calculation, you please identify this. You please identify this classification, then proceed for the problems. Clear? So today we have nothing to share for this class. Obviously, we are going to apply this concept of curvature in the next classes. So these are the references we have used to prepare this particular video lecture. You can go for these websites also, you will be benefited more. And finally, I want to thank you all for your listening. Happy listening, happy learning.